It's your big day. It's your big day. It's your big day. It's your big every day I play in the sunshine, it's so heavenly. Oh, oh, oh. I feel it in my soul. Do you feel it in your soul? It's so big, it's so big, it's so big. Bingo day, bingo day, bingo day, bingo. It's yo, 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 big day. Oh. It's your big day, yo.
Hello, everybody. It's your big day. It's your big day, everybody. What it do, ski? It is such a good day today. It's such a good day today, everyone. Tribe. It is like ooshy gooshy, like sprucey whoosh, like floating out the top of the zones. Really good day today, everyone. Super good day. So excited to like be here with you in every single way even possible. Oh my goodness. Oh, yes, that felt good. It is such a good day today. Such a good day today. Good today. So, really wanted to speak to you about, really wanted to give you this data collection, really wanted to give you this living mental construct so you could like download it, clickety clack, and just get it all up in you whenever you need it. Because what is this? What are we providing for you today? What are we actually giving to you today? Well, this is what we're giving to you today. We are giving to you a buffer. Essentially, what this download is a buffer, and you can expect to buffer about 20%, sometimes a lot more. Never less, though, never less. You can expect to add this 20% buffer to your lifestyle, to your mental continuum, to the programs that you have running and installed, keeping your systems cleaner every day and running as they should. So what do we got for you? We got this for you. It's really about it's about the economy. It's about energetics. It takes some understanding. We have to actually plug you in. We have to, get you in tune with the vibe. And so without further ado, this is the Vibe Guide. One-on-one. You on you. Yes, it is. So, it's so chillskis right now, so doparoo. Like, it's just so abstracticals. Anyway, so yeah, let's get it. Let's get it in. I really want you to have this because this is altering the consciousness in such a way that mindfulness takes on another plateau, another escalator, another platform, another level. We're about to be on a whole nother level. We're about to be so in the sauce that the sauce is gonna be bubbling all over me and all over you, all over everything. Okay, so yeah, so let's get it in. Really, what you need to understand, and this is about to get deep, so brace yourself. It's not that serial, but it's potentially, for you, it could be super serial. So, just brace yourself a little bit if you need to. Or be open to it. So, why do you want this? You don't really want to. Have you ever gone outside, you know what I mean, and you hit some frigid air, or at least frigid to you, and then there's that moment before you actually go outside, you're anticipating how frigid it actually is, and you're it's so frigid. It's so frigid out here. I know it's cold. And then there's that brief moment where your membrane meets your membrane, where it's the membrane meets the membrane, where it's two atmospheres colliding. You don't really you don't really want that feeling. You don't want this. You don't really want this wild in anticipation. Generally when people are meeting people in the wild of humanity, that is humanity, it's because it's always a fucking sperm event. You know what I mean? It's always feeling this could be the final moment. It's always feeling it's now or never. You're constantly in flight on so many subtle levels. It's really hard to compute actually when you actually bring it all together. When you start actually looking at your corkboard and looking at the pins and following these threads, it gets real. It's who's the culprit? Who's zapping my energy? Who's sapping my energy? We need to guard our energy. that the guard is literally more like woo shoo. It's more like redirecting. It's more like knowing. It's more like allowing things to flow. You can't really flow unless you know the flow. You actually have to know where to move. And to be in flow, there's an anticipatory like moment where you feel like, wow, I actually have to like feel it before it gets here. Sensually, you have to understand in you that the world, it's your big day. The world is your big day. The world is your big day. Is actually in pain. Okay? The world is actually in pain. Okay? We're going to give you some parameters. Okay? Just hang in there. We're going to give you something. The world is actually in a lot of pain. So when you're interacting with the world, you actually need to be aware of what's going on so you don't take it personally. Not only not take it personally, but thrive in each and every single moment because you have diagnostics running, because you know what's going down. You have filters. You have labels. You have slots to put things in. And that really helps you sift through the energy flux. You have to understand that the world out there is bananas. And everyone is riding a continuum. And that's humanity's gift and curse. Because the continuum can, when you're on a path, when you're driving somewhere, you can only see the path you're driving on. Like you can't see the bird on the other road. Like you can't see what I'm seeing. When people are on their path, they're on their continuum. When they're on their mental construct, when they're on that view, when they're on that perspective, when they're wired to that wave, they're literally not seeing you the same way. And so you have to understand that there are many people who are in an altered state of consciousness that is not in alignment with flow. A state of consciousness doesn't necessarily mean you're like way over there. A state of consciousness can simply mean a belief, a way of looking at things, because the way you look at things creates your state of consciousness. It affects your state of consciousness. So when people can't see what you see, when they're not aware of the emotional economy and the transference of energy and the exchanges going on, they don't know why things are happening. They can't. The emotional economy is so dope. Most people don't even know it's here because you can't see it. It's like, it's worse than money because like you can't see it. Like money, it's the same thing, but you see it. Like we bought into it. Like we made a big deal. And it's like, yeah, there's money now. To the point where it's like, if you tell someone like you don't like money and like they don't like it, it's like, well, are you crazy? It's money. And it's like, but money doesn't like do anything. Like money doesn't do anything. Like money's like right there. It's like that with the emotional economy. Because the only thing you're actually seeing is like facial expressions, like breakups, makeups, fights, and like someone getting fired, someone getting hired. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're seeing smiles. Like you're not really getting it. You're not seeing how everything actually connects. You're not actually seeing how it all connects. So, remember, when you're out there in the emotional economy, it's crazy out there because everyone's in pain. There is ancestral trauma. People are still suffering every single day. And ancestral doesn't have to be a long time ago. It could be like someone's grandpa, someone's like mom. People have lost their family members. 60% of the population, right, are disabled in some way. Most of them ways you cannot actually see plainly with your eyes. People are very busy. And being very busy, meaning in this case a rush, being in a rush is very, very, very taxing to a human's nature. So much so that they're actually energy depleted. And when one is energy depleted, one cannot actually behave or give you any output. And if there is any output, it's like, okay, for instance, let's say we have a train, right? And once we reach this certain level, the train moves. Where does all that energy go when it doesn't meet that moment? When it doesn't meet that moment that the train moves, does the energy, like, what does it do? Like, what is that energy? Like, is it bringing, like, what is it? It almost might as well not be, it might as well not be, but I guess it might as well be non-existent. Because it's not actually moving the train because we actually haven't moved to that level. So what does that mean? In order for someone to actually entice you, in order for someone to actually give you energy, it actually has to meet a certain level for you to actually feel synergized or energized by what? That communication, by that energetic transfer. It happens all the time. Have you ever seen someone smile? Have you ever felt like if you don't like live that moment, it's not going to feel like you're living? That's because your energetics, your requirements are at such a level in, like, internally. It takes that for you to actually feel that. And since we're actually on that, since we have a little swoosh over here, I'm just gonna side quest over here and open this little chest. We have over here, la la la. We have over here. Oh my God! Over here, it's one of the reasons why people are getting into like aspects of spirituality. Because generally speaking, spirituality, well, some of them anyway, a practice of these concepts. These concepts, they're like about gratitude. When you actually practice gratitude, you actually reconfigure your parameters. You actually go in yourself and you actually dial up or dial down. What are you dialing? Your sensitivity to what is happening in your life with regards to appreciation, with regards to pleasure, with regards to happiness. Do you see what I'm saying? You can actually go in and do that. You can go inside right now, get at these knobs and move them around a little bit. You're saying, you know what? Why do I need so much to actually make me fucking happy? Well, there are a few reasons. There are some mental constructs you're working with. You know what I mean? They're called icons. They're called people that have achieved certain things. They're called societal expectations. when you need a certain thing to make you happy, or a certain outcome to actually, allow yourself to release these chemicals, it means you're cutting yourself off from, feeling that until you get that. And so all of these other pleasures, all of these other satisfactory things literally become less satisfactory. Now, that was that over there. Now let's get back on, that was a side quest, there's your treasure. So, let's get back on the main dial. So, we're talking about protecting your energy. You can protect your energy by actually adding data into you, by actually having a data set that is awareness so that you can move within the flux. That's what this download is all about today. Click now. So, when people are getting at you, you have to understand you're messing with a tiger. You're messing with a tiger that's hurt. You're messing with a tiger that is hurt. And when tigers are hurt, they're agitated. You're messing with people who are actually agitated. When you interact with others in their energy, generally speaking, every single person has been traumatized because most people are in a rush, which changes their energy and its nature. It calibrates them in a very interesting way. It actually makes time a thing that is agitating. Time itself becomes a slave keeper, and time itself is literally their enemy. So anything that has anything to do with time and interrupting it is their enemy as well. And you see that every single day. These are very simple things that you see, but you have no idea how integral it is that you understand that these chronic occurrences, these everyday cycles that people are living in, are actually becoming a part of their beingness. And if they're not there, understanding their beingness and wanting to internalize their life and their lifestyle, then they're going to have a very challenging time giving you the energy that you need, because they're not aware of the influences around them, and they're not aware of how they can participate, to the extent that it doesn't actually make sense to them. It actually doesn't even make sense to them, because it's like crazy, because they're on a different continuum. The human mind can't really embody 3,000 paths at once. If someone's not running the program, they're not running the program. They may be able to see what you mean, but they're not really seeing what you mean. It's the difference between, it's like, okay, you're under the influence, and like, you're not. So can we expect to really interpret the world the same way? Because that's how it is. Someone's under the influence of a continuum. Someone's under the influence of a paradigm. Someone's under the influence of a perception. They are not seeing what you are seeing, and you're interacting with individuals who are all under their own very specific influence, very specific blend of influences, very specific amalgam of influences. So it's imperative that you understand in order to buffer the works out there, the workings, the energies that are like getting at you. You have to understand it has nothing to do with you, but you also need to understand there's no reason to constantly anticipate what's going on with other people, because there's a lot going on. There's more that can even be spoke about. There's more than they know. There's things from the past. There's things from the future. There's things in the present. There's a lot of energy. It's almost magical. There's like magical energy going on inside of people. They don't know why they're doing the things that they do. They don't know why they like what they like. They don't know why they're frustrated with you. And even when they know that things are imbalanced, they don't care because they're that agitated. It's like being sick. When someone is sick, the only thing they're concerned about is being well, if they can even focus on that. Like that's actually a stage in recovery where one is doing pretty good, where they can actually participate in wanting to be well and focusing on that part. There are certain points where you're so sick you can't even imagine getting better because it's so painful. It's so mind-boggling. It's so like taking up the bandwidth. It's so like taking up the bandwidth that you would never be able to actually that you would never be able to actually understand what's going on around you. Now imagine that reality. And everyone's been sick at least once. Imagine that reality being, sick. What did the rest of the world doing matter to you? Like, how did that matter to you? Did it even exist to you? Like, did the world and the way the world functions actually mean anything to you? Like, did you care? Like, could you even go out that far? Like, when you're dying inside, can you actually think about the universe? You don't give a damn about the universe. You can't think of the universe. You can't think that far out. Which is another reason why there's a lot of unhappy people. You have to understand, because people have a homeostasis that is that homeostasis, the homeostasis like over here, the lower homeostasis. It means they can't even dream. They can't even compute dreaming. They can't even like fathom like a continuum like that. Like they can't even, that's why stories are really cool and they're actually helpful to people. Because people like, at least like monkey see, monkey do is real. Like it's not a bad thing all the time. But monkey see, monkey do, like it's sometimes like monkey see, monkey clue at least, And when a monkey see, monkey clues, it's still something, all right? So don't ever not share your story, all right? Because monkey see, monkey clue is such a powerful thing. All right, moving on. All right, moving on. So yeah, monkey see, monkey clue. People can't tribe. Goddesses, gods, trainees. This is why people can't dream. Hopeless, yeah, we can say that. But hopeless is deeper than that. It's called being able to even fathom. It's called preoccupied because the bandwidth is already so taken up. It's like they say you only use 10% of your brain. They say things like you only use 10% of your brain. And it's like, okay, what about the other thing that what about the other stuff that my brain is dealing with that, like, I'm not even participating in, like, consciously at this moment? Like, you're never gonna get to that conscious 10% of your brain. And like the next 90, you're never gonna get there unless you actually like, to actually think about people getting to that point means you're talking to like some sovereign beings. You're talking about people who actually have the space, have the memory to give a damn. Like, people cannot dream because they're in so much pain. And pain is very distracting. It's worse than distracting because pain is actually, it's all your perception can be when you're in pain. Only those who are heavily trained, it's only happened a handful of times in the lifetimes that exist. Only those who are heavily trained can experience something so traumatic and just ignore it. You're a warrior, you get your leg chopped off, like you still keep fighting. Stuff like that. It's like, oh well, I lost my leg. Who cares? But you have to understand how taxing that is on the system too. That still alters the state of consciousness because you're not built to do that. You're fighting. If you're constantly under pressure, if you're constantly in a chamber, constantly fighting, yeah, you can do it, but it changes you. It changes you. And certain parts of you become calloused. Certain parts of you will never be able to be accessed ever again. Because to access that motherboard over there, to access those knobs over there, to access that over there would mean to totally, like, you might as well just get a new person. Because when we're talking about a human being, we're talking about more than a computer could ever fathom, like, taking in. We're talking about so much data. We're talking about years, time and time again. We're talking about energy that has been reinforced second by second by second by second by second by millisecond by in between second by seconds on top of seconds by seconds smudging on seconds, seconds like slipping on seconds, seconds like flopping on seconds, like piling up on seconds, seconds like rubbing on seconds, seconds like breaking on seconds, seconds like liquefying on seconds, seconds just like seconds. Like so many seconds. It's like the multiplier on this is ridiculous. It's not even a number. It has a texture. It has a viscosity. Like, it has weight. It has a smell. Like, it itches. Like, it flakes. Like, do you understand? This thing has, it's like alive. When someone's in pain, it's literally an experience. It's an experience that's so traumatic because it's so in you. You can't move out of it. So understand when you're interacting with other people's energies out there in the world. Know what you're walking into. Know that you and that are on two completely different wavelengths. And I know you're on that wavelength because you're here with me on the big day. It's your big day. You can't let people sap your energy when you know they're a zombie. How do you know they're a zombie? Because they're trying to eat you when you're alive. When people come at you when you're doing great, when you're radiant, when you're vibrant, when you're having a good day, it's like they're a zombie. You can't let them take your energy. And you're not supposed to argue and fight with a zombie. Because a zombie just sees you as the next meal. The zombie just wants to apply more pressure and pain to the situation. Also, keep in mind, there's a turnaround on energetics. There's a turnaround in people. People take time to compute. People are reactive because they lack training. People are actually reactive because not being reactive is still kind of new to the world. So it's like when you interact with people, understand you need to give them an opportunity to actually process it because they may be emotionally slow. They may actually be slow, and you don't understand how much data they've been taking in. You don't understand what their experiences have been like. Use these buffers. People are in a rush. People are tired. And that's the worst thing that could ever happen to a human being, period. Because everything comes out of your vitality. All of your experiences do. You can't expect these rush people lacking sleep. You just can't expect these people to give you the sort of performance that would denote any sort of like well-being. Unless they really planned out their life, or they smelled it, they caught a whiff of it, and they clinged onto it, and they didn't let it go. You have to understand, this society actually works too hard. It works too hard, and is not respected for it. It's not appreciated for it. People are trying to live their lives at night because they don't have a life in the day. They're trying to get their life back at night because they're giving all their free time up to something they didn't want to. So they're trying to get their time back at night. So they're not sleeping correctly. They're not regenerating. They're not repairing. And so they're less of themselves tomorrow than they were the day before. They won't even allow themselves to come back because they won't do it until it's like perilous. And it's hard to break out of those habits when one is still living in a cycle where someone is taking their time. Humans need a lot of free time in order to feel happy. Humans need free time in order to feel like life is actually worth living. Humans actually need space. Humans actually need a lot in order to feel comfortable. But it's only a lot because of what we've created together. So understand, you're actually meeting up with, exchanging energy with people who, generally speaking, are zapped already. You're lucky if you meet a really happy person. You're lucky if you meet someone who's like living the best life. You're lucky if you meet people who are so friggin' happy. It's like they don't need anything from you at all. They don't need your participation. They don't need your smile. They need your high five. Like they don't need anything from you. Like they're bringing that energy. They are that energy. Like they're showing up with that energy. So what can you do? Because people frequently tell me, I love your energy. You know, I need that. I'm actually, with regards to the emotional economy, in case you weren't getting it, happiness is literally, it's like plutonium. It's like uranium. It's like that mineral off that planet we haven't even seen yet, where it's like alive. It's like the symbiote. It's like it's that thing over there on that asteroid that like no one's even like experienced. It's so precious. It's such a precious. It's such a precious asset that people literally assume you are rich when they meet you when you are living out loud. How else let's talk about symptoms of this and how it looks in the world. You have to be sensing this in order to understand what environment you are in, so you even understand why the buffer exists and is needed. There's actually a joy ceiling in society. There's actually an emotional ceiling. Like, where's the higher emotions, the more joyful ones, the more radiant ones? Where is the homeostasis for that in our emotional economy? Like, what does it look like? What's in the marketplace out there? Like, what are you seeing? Like, what is out there? Like, what are these trends? What are you seeing out there? Oh, such a beautiful day, everyone. Such a lovely, lovely day, Smooch. Oh, we love you. We love you. We love you so much. Such a beautiful day. Let's get right back in. What are you seeing out there? There is a ceiling on our joy. I have a little thread over here. We have our cork board. We got another pin over here. We have a little string over here. I have a little story for you. So I went to an event, and it was an event that you're supposed to be. The permission slip specifically says you have permission to be ecstatically blissed out, overflowing, abundant, jumping, laughing, crying, whatever you want to be, all over the place. More so the jumping feeling. Just like the hands in the air, knees are tucked, splits in the air, toesies just loving it, breeze in between the gaps. So someone they find me after the event. They're like, "Hey, I need your information. Like, can I, like, I have to tell you, I've never seen someone so happy before. I have to tell you." Here's where here's where the pin comes in. I didn't know it was like okay to be like that happy. Like, I'm not sure. Like, I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm happy. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm happy. But the kind of happy that just was right now, like that happiness over there, I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know that was okay. Like, I don't know how to feel about that. This person is, your psychologist, your counselor, gave me her card. She wanted to interact with me. These are the sorts of things that happen all the time. They're even in the most joyous places. To be really happy just seems like a lot of effort, or it seems like a lot of, and I know what you're saying, like, it doesn't have to look like that. Calm yourself. Why not? Maybe people like aren't extroverted. then why would they come to an extroverted event? Why would they come to a place where, we told ourselves we're going to jump all around and then actually feel like, why was this an outlier? Why were there people a little, unused to this? It's not as though everyone there wasn't happy. Everyone there was ecstatically happy. But for some reason, this seemed like more. But for some reason, this seemed like more. They went on to say that their joy wasn't being expressed at the levels they really wanted to, and they felt guilty for being so happy. They were actually rotting inside because they can't get it out. Now, more on this way another time. Back to the mission. That is another factor out there. Not only are people wrapped up in knots every day, but there's literally a expectation, a ceiling, an accepted parameter, a level of radiance that is allowed. It's one of the unspoken things, and unspoken things are real. Unspoken things are real. When you're really happy, it's like when you're really happy, when you're really happy, it's like you're walking around with money bags. People don't know what else to do. People don't understand it. And what do we call those people? The 1%. We call those people the people that we hate. The people that have it all. The people that took everything. Everything? Everything. Like they took all of that. Like they took all of it. Like they actually took all of it. When you're really happy, they say health is wealth, right? Well, what does happy look like? It looks like you're so damn wealthy, you might as well go be happy in your own what? Your own acre, your own mile, your own mountain, because obviously you own one. Obviously, you're so happy, it's sickening to me. Obviously, like you're so having like a good life that I can't even imagine like what you get to do in like your like day. It's really hard to be happy. More on that later. We have another transmission called, I'll give you a clue, Monk. I'll give you the clue. It's your big day. This is like, I'm not giving you, come on, I'm giving you the goodies. Get these coupons, you know what I'm saying? These coupons for life. When it's coming to these energetic exchanges, just hand out your coupon and be like, oh yeah, sorry, I got a coupon for that. You know what I'm saying? I got you. Yeah, no, I get a pass. Yep, yeah. There you go. Because I'm not dealing with it. Because that's a waste of my bandwidth. That's a waste of my energy. What is this transmission called? It's Joy Rots. If you haven't listened to it, Joy Rots. And it's like, joy isn't supposed to like rot. You know, rot, it'd be different if like rotting, you know, it'd be different. You know, it would be different if like joy like rotted over there where it's supposed to, but joy rots like over here where it's not supposed to. Where it's not supposed to. Like joy rots over here. And then we got a cycle going over here that's supposed to happen like over there. Over there. And over there. But instead it's happening in here. So, please check out that transmission, get your coupon, get your access to the highest available vibrations to you at this time, because they're going fast. You feel me? And you do not want to miss this wave of consciousness. Because when you're on a wave of consciousness, it's a continuum. And what comes out of that? Everything. You're literally joining different tribes when you take on different sorts of ideas, and you can actually like float with that if it's what you need. And you're gonna need this because the people on these sorts of waves are the best people. These people are people that will help you grow. You want to share this mind design. You want to really Groupon on this, you know? You really want to like groupity group. You want to grope on this, okay? You want to grope on, okay? Okay? So yeah, I don't even remember where I was. I have no idea what was happening. So these energy caps, we're done with that. Monitor your joy. Okay? People won't even smile at you unless they know you. Because their smile is reserved for the people that make them feel safe. People smile when they feel safe. In order to smile, you have to feel safe. Which is why people get so agitated when they see it. It's like, how could you actually feel so freaking free right now that you're gonna smile right next to me when I'm wearing shackles? You're over there skipping, just running around, doing everything that you want to do while I'm over here in prison? Feel how I feel. I don't want to feel how you feel. Because feeling how you feel is a lie. Because I'm not about that life. Anywho, just understand. People, we gotta go through layers and layers. We have to go through layers and layers and layers of penetration. We need to go through layers and layers and layers and layers of penetration today. We gotta get this ink in you. We gotta get this ink in. I'm trying to give you that dope design. Oh my goodness. Woo! This is that activation symbol. You put it together, it starts glowing, and like the walls open. It's like, yes. All right, everybody. We're gonna, there's a big day out there. There's like a big day out there. It's a biggie. It's a big one. It's a lovely day, everybody. We out here floating on a cloud of gratitude. We love you, everybody. We got that love, y'all. We out. Oh my. It's time to go, everybody. It's your big day. It's your big day.